Well, we've got something a little bit different for you today. I had something a little bit different for you yesterday, actually, because Geo is having to take up a bit of the slack. I got to be honest with you, we're lacking some serious internet in the man cave. We're lacking just basic electricity in the man cave. So we're resituated. Geo's hosting. Geo is coming up with the topics for this week, and I thank him very, very much. So I'm a little bit out the loop, quite frankly, because I'm trying to fix the electrics. Geo, what has been going on in the world of West Ham?
Well, right now, as you at home are watching this, Gianluca Scamacca is in London. He arrived in London last night via private plane, and his medical at West Ham United is later on today. He's got a 2-part medical to go. So if all goes well, tomorrow at the latest, Gianluca Scamacca will be a West Ham United player. How about that, Gonzo? We're finally there.
I'm thrilled with it. Look, I did. I wanted Broja to start off with. I really did. I just thought he really suited our style. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even this guy wasn't even on my radar. Even though, obviously, over the last recent years, I've started watching England again. This guy played against England when we played Italy. I'd be lying if I said I noticed him, which is something in itself. But he wasn't even on my radar. However, so when we're doing these videos, and we do a lot of videos, there's a lot of strikers who I dismiss because I don't think they're David Moyes type strikers. As soon as I saw this guy, I thought, yes, he would suit our style, he would suit our system. And the more you watch, the more you find out, the more other people speak about him, people who might have more of a knowledge. Our own Euro expert who does our Patreon videos as well. He was really excited. He's always excited, but he was particularly excited, wasn't he? And then I almost got to the point. I thought actually maybe I would prefer this guy, in many respects because, because we can get him and we can't get the other one. But you've got to have a bit of pragmatism there, Gio. And I'd much rather this than us go the whole window and have a bit of Jesse Lingard-itis and David Moyes chases somebody. We don't get him. We need players in now. I can feel the clock ticking, mate. And it's not just because I've got to be broadband up and running in a man cave. I can feel the clock ticking. But for the start of the season, we've got to have players in. And I listened to your video this morning about the lack of creativity. Sorry, yesterday morning, the lack of creativity. You're absolutely right. And whilst Scamacca isn't the guy that loads the gun, he certainly is a guy that fires the bullets, and we ain't been to. We had any bullets, any ammunition, or any gun, if you know what I mean.
So what do we have then? Just the holder for the gun.
God, he had a cowboy hat, really.
So you've got your man cave at the minute.
We got a horse. I tell you, our horse is very fit, apart from the broken ones.
Anyway, I still don't know much about him, so I always say I struggle to get excited about players I don't know because I don't know how they fit into how Moyes is going to play. I can't vision it. But what I am really pleased about, I joked back in the summer when we went after Aguerd, Aviola and Flynn Downs, I kept calling him Decisive Dave. A bit of a laugh, makes a change from Dithering Dave. But it feels like we've got Decisive Dave back again. I was a bit worried that we were going to have Dithering Dave because of our Chelsea's hold-up with Armando Broja. I thought we all know this is going to go on and on. And while he's still sort of semi-available, Moyes will just wait a little bit. I don't want anyone else because I might get the man I want. But it looks like we've got Decisive Dave in the building who's gone, do you know what, Chelsea, piss off. You've had it then. Good luck spending your money because you can't sell him for 30 million. Good luck getting your other centre-back in. I'm off to Sassuolo and I'm going to go get my other 42 million euro man in instead then, and I'll go get him. So I'm pleased to see us move from target A to target B pretty quickly. I'm using letters instead of numbers because while we believe that Broja is his number one target, we don't know. There's a difference between believing and being told and actually it being factually true. But for whatever reason, Moyes has shifted over to Scamacca. Hopefully he's actually his number one target and he's been using Chelsea to flush out Sassuolo this whole time. That would be interesting and fun. A bit of a twist to the story, wouldn't it? But I'm pleased that we've done it. I'm pleased we've gone, do you know something? Part that, let's go on to the next one. And I mentioned a couple of days ago, I am sensing a massive change in transfer strategy from West Ham this summer compared to January. We're not going after unrealistic targets. We're going after still ambitious targets, but they're a bit more realistic. I mean, PSG wanted this striker. They didn't go after him because they felt it was too expensive. But it was still somebody that PSG's had on their radar. That's got to count for something. So while I won't get excited because I can't watch highlights, or I won't watch highlights, I can get excited because I quite like Euro experts' judge of players, and he's gave a 10 out of 10, and he described him as the most exciting striker in European football behind Erling Haaland and Darwin Núñez. I mean, that's quite a big thing to say. But then I sort of trust PSG's judgment when it comes to players. So if they're interested in him, that's enough for me. Have you got anything you want to say about Scamacca before we move on to the next couple of bits of news?
I'm really excited, Joe. As excited as I've watched all your videos. I watched your video when you were saying that, going for Phillips and Rafinha and Núñez, and they were high profile targets, and we've taken it down a notch. I almost think on that, and when I was in the bath scrubbing my back listening to your video, Geo, I was thinking to myself, it's almost like
useless twat, dislike video.
Absolutely, it's me doing the trolling.
I wish I had a gun and bullets.
Absolutely, I was lying in the bath with my cowboy hat on, obviously, and me duck. Anyway, so don't worry about that. I was thinking to myself, maybe we're actually going for almost like Europa targets rather than Champions League targets. Maybe, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with going 5-star players, apart from the fact you can't get them. But there's nothing wrong with 4-star players. That's absolutely fine where we are, where we're looking to go, and particularly again, I've done not a lot, but watch your videos over the last few days. And when you were saying about the age profile of Kostic and Zielinski and whatnot, and I'm totally with you there. I think if you buy these 4-star players, Europa players, and if you buy them young, they may well become 5-star players. So I think this is. But my point was, I'm really excited as I could. I didn't know Bowen was going to turn out as good as he was. So I wasn't overly. I was quite excited, but not overly. Didn't know Souček was. And even last season, Zuma. It's hard to get excited about a centre back, isn't it? Striker. Oh, we don't get many strikers, so I'm probably as excited as I have been since Sebastian Haller.
It's been over 1,000 days since we last signed a striker at West Ham, so it doesn't happen very often. The last time West Ham signed a striker, COVID wasn't a thing. We'd never heard of coronavirus. We didn't know what it was. So since West Ham signed a striker, COVID's been and gone. Now we finally got our man. But the one thing I will say, Liverpool, maybe not Man City, but certainly Liverpool and Chelsea, they have 4-star players. They have some of them. They're not all 5-star. You need some players in there that aren't quite as good as the rest of them that will do the nitty-gritty work. But anyway, Gonzo, we've got another couple of big topics to discuss as well. One official from the club and one sort of unofficial rumours at the minute. But before we get on to that, Gonzo's out the man shed. He's out the man cave, but he's not out the loop because do you know why? He's using the One Football app, aren't you, Gonzo?
I tell you what, Geo, you don't even need an Ethernet cable to use the One Football app. You can use I was going to say 5G. Who am I kidding? It's 4G around here. You can use your 4G to get the One Football app. And it's still, I heard you say it early on, it still only takes 15 seconds to download. The One Football app has been absolutely magic, Geo, because it has kept me up to date with all the West Ham topics, all the people that West Ham are genuinely linked with, plus a load of them what we don't stand a chance of buying. But I don't care because I soak that stuff up. The wonderful about One Football app is it will take all the West Ham news, put it into one place for me because I ask it to. At the start, it says, who do you support? I support West Ham. Not only do I get the transfer news, I know about the pre-season friendlies. I know about when the season starts. I even know we're playing Manchester City. I unfortunately know via the One Football app that Aguerd is injured, which is a little bit rubbish. If you want the One Football app, it's free and you can download it by using the link underneath this screen.
So there you go. Gonzo soaks up the football news on the One Football app while soaking up my news in his bathtub. There you have it. An insight into Gonzo's life. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that Aguerd news then. For those that don't know, West Ham United have confirmed themselves on their official website tonight. It's funny, isn't it? When you say West Ham have confirmed, you almost have to reiterate it's on the official website. We don't mean that it's come out on a newspaper. It's secret. No. West Ham themselves have said that Aguerd has undergone successful surgery. Now, that's all they said. They didn't go on to say what type of surgery he had or what the surgery was necessarily for, just that he's had surgery. He's going to undergo his rehab. But again, there's no time frame given whatsoever. However, it's not good news, is it?
No, but they've used a good news word alongside some bad news. You get a good word and a bad word. Successful, good word. Surgery, bad word. It's like joyful divorce. Well, actually, there'll be some watching this thinking, actually, to be fair, my divorce was very joyful. No, so I just read it. Successful surgery. Okay, I guess it's good that the surgery's been a success. The fact he's needed surgery.
Yeah, it's I mean, people are now trying to guess how long he's going to be out for, but you can't really say until you know what he's had surgery on exactly. What is it that he's fixing? However, you'd imagine he's going to be out for a couple of months, probably just guessing. By the time he's back in training and he's fully fit, puts West Ham in a bit of a difficult position, really, because as we know through the summer, Bonner's just not quite ready. I've been almost disappointed. It's not his fault. I just naively assumed he'd be fine, ready to go by the start of the season, and he's not. He's still. This is his rehab rather than his pre-season, and then Diop's just been missing. Dawson's been missing as well. We know Dawson's injured though, but again, we don't know what injury he's got. It's just vanished. At least they told us where, but it's because they sort of had to. We all witnessed the injury with Dawson. We don't know what's wrong, so we'll keep that quiet. Fans don't need to know yet. Zuma was massively hobbling at the end of the Luton game. He was not 100% fit at all, so it's not that great either. But we'll go on to Diop in a second. But the rumours are last night that West Ham are looking at a centre-back based in Italy, not necessarily an Italian centre-back, just a centre-back. Milenkovic has really quickly been linked to West Ham as well, given the Aguerd news in the last 24 hours, which is almost convenient, isn't it? We're linked to Milenkovic. What, West Ham have officially confirmed the centre-backs had surgery? Well, I believe all of a sudden they're interested in Milenkovic. They weren't before the surgery, but now, post-surgery, now they are. But we're being linked to different centre-backs in Italy at the minute, Gonzo. But this leads us on to the next centre-back, which is Issa Diop. So about, 3 weeks ago now, Issa Diop was heavily linked with Fulham. Then it just went quiet. Then the reports where Moyes has put that transfer on hold. And then we discovered Dawson was injured and Obona wasn't quite ready. So okay, that's why it's on hold. But the news last night from French media, from L'Equipe, they're stating that Issa Diop has asked to leave West Ham United, and the transfer to Fulham is now expected to go through.
Well, there's a few things here, really. I can totally understand a Diop wanting to leave, and no hard feelings there. I mean, he's a really good player. He's good enough to get first team football, really. And when he first joined us and under Pellegrini, it was really good there. I thought he was really good, and I thought there were times when it's easy to think of Ogbonna, funnily enough, as his mainstay of the West, our best defender, but he hasn't been like that for his full career. He really hasn't. I think it's the last couple of seasons, last 2.5 seasons, something like that maybe, where you thought Ogbonna's undroppable. We really miss him. He's a leader, all of these things. Actually, there were times when, I remember at Diop, when you look at Diop before, actually, Diop and Balbuena was our first choice partnership, in that sense. So I do understand it. He's not first choice anymore. He is a really capable player, but he's not playing enough games now. So I understand him wanting to go, but I also think we often suffer at the hands of clubs who want to do things that suit them. The Breuer one would be the perfect and most recent example. Chelsea may or may not sell Breuer, but if they do so, they'll do it when it's convenient for them to do it. And at the moment, it's not, because Lukaku, it didn't work out as a transfer. So actually, they want to keep him there until they get whoever they want to sign, be it Cristiano Ronaldo or anyone else. I think with us, we have to do the same. And I think we've got to be respectful to Diop. And I think we've probably got to say, look, we will try and give you a transfer, but we're in a bit of a sticky situation at the moment. Aguerd, Zuma's limping, Dawson's not particularly well, Oggy's not fully fit yet. We're going to have to keep you there. It might be a transfer deadline day thing, mate. And if not, it may well then be a January thing. But you can understand, again, you've got also, when we discussed before about these deals for Rafinha and these deals for Calvin Phillips, I didn't feel we made those approaches to Leeds. We didn't really understand the situation that Leeds were in, which is, they're not going to sell us those clubs because because they were fighting relegation. I also think we have to be understanding that if we're going to play a waiting game with Fulham are quite within their rights to turn around and say, well, we need a centre half. We want a Premier League survival is everything to us. So they might go and buy someone from elsewhere. So I think I think the other thing is key. If we can get whatever the price may be, 15, 20 million for him, great. And if I think then David Moyes thinks, okay, I can go and buy a different central defender for 10 million or something to cover that position, then maybe it's the right thing to do. But we've got to look after ourselves first and foremost, whilst being respectful to the player and Fulham, I think.
I'd like to see a loan move for a centre-back, if I'm honest. I don't really want to see us spend money there, because then we're back to the same problem, which is 5 senior centre-backs. But they all have injury concerns to some extent. Even last season, Zuma had injuries, Dawson had injuries, he just played through it. Bona had a horrific injury. So they're all sort of semi-injury prone to some extent. So a 5th senior centre-back may not be a bad thing. But I'd like us to explore the loan market. Funnily enough, from Stamford Bridge, I think there's 2 players there that would suit us down to the ground. I think we've got Caldwell, who was on loan at Huddersfield Town last season, who was one of the best centre-backs in the Championship, who's probably not going to get enough first-team minutes at Stamford Bridge. But I don't think they'll sell him, because it's really come back to bite them in the arse recently, selling all their youngsters like Mark Guy, who's at Crystal Palace. I mean, what they do for him this season. And the other one is maybe a bit more of a curveball, believe it or not, rather than an untested youngster, is Ethan Ampadu. He's back at Stamford Bridge now after a few loan deals over to Serie A and the Netherlands, I think he was prior to that. Obviously, big part for Wales, complete defensive midfield and centre-back, and I think it would be quite a clever signing for us, because even if he came in and played centre-back, then our senior centre-backs were back, he can play in various different positions. Very, very comfortable in the back three as well. Wales tend to play a back three. He's usually in the centre-back of that trio, so he would tick a lot of the boxes, and I don't think Chelsea would miss him. I don't even think he's been involved much in their pre-season tour in America, nor has Billy Gilmore. Not that I want Billy Gilmore, but I'm just saying
particularly not a centre-back.
No, there's some players that Tuchel's just not quite certain on yet. Even worse off than Amanda Brohe, arguably. As for Diop, I don't think Fulham will wait, because last time they were in the Premier League, I would argue that's a big part of the reason they got relegated. Now, I know it's a different manager now with Marco Silva. Back then, they had Scott Parker. But the first month of the season, they did not have a squad. Parker was chopping and changing week in, week out. By the end of the transfer window, he'd got in his own players. By the end of September, he started to get a bit of a settled team. It was too late. They were rock bottom of the league. It was like, you've missed the first 2 months of the season, Mr. Parker. So I'd imagine the hierarchy at Fulham would be saying, we can't afford that anymore. We cannot wait to have scraps from the teams that are expected to finish above us in the Premier League. Now, they've made some good moves. They've got Andreas Pereira in. They've just signed Solomon today, which I think is a fantastic signing. So there's not like they're going after loads of other players. It's probably just Issa Diop. But I don't think we can have it both ways. Obviously, last week, Lingard turned us down to go after the money route. Fine, if that's what you want to do. But it gets your backs up as football fans. Now, we've got a player that says, I want to leave to go get more minutes. I don't think we can go, well, you can't do that. Well, hang on a minute. We've just complained that we lost out on a player, although the footballing reasons to come to West Ham were greater than where he actually went. And now Issa Diop's trying to leave for footballing reasons. And I think you've almost got to respect that. And I'd like to see him go. Just if that's what he genuinely wishes, then I would like to see him go. But it sort of puts us under a little bit of pressure for reasons you gave that, well, we play Manchester City in 12 days' time. It's not a lot of time to get somebody in, and they're probably going to have to play against Man City as well, unless somebody's back for the weekend. So there you go. Gonzo, a bit of Scamacca, a bit of Aguerd, and a bit of Diop.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, I think Diop coming back, if he goes to Fulham and return back, I think you get a good reception. I really do, from the fans. I think fans understand the situation, and we appreciate him, don't we? More than can be said for somebody else, probably, who might be turning up the stadium quite early. I also think, for all your talk, lovely talk, a couple of nice suggestions there of young players coming in. So, whilst we might be getting the old video ready and getting it all prepared to announce Ampadu as our loan signing, I think, do you know what I might do? I might make a template for a video now welcoming Phil Jones. Save yourself a bit of work. You know it's coming.
I forgot we were linked to him last season, actually. But we'll wait and see. Hopefully, Rob Newman's got a couple of players, or hopefully Mark Warburton can ring his daughter and say, hey, what's that age? Have you got any centre backs on your books down there?
You've had everyone dead. There's no more players at the agency.
But anyway, should we leave it there, my friend?
Yeah, yes indeed, mate. Yes indeed. Well, listen, Geo, thank you very much for taking up the slack. The slack that the Cat 5 cable running through the garden has left an awful lot of slack. Thank you very much. And Geo apologised earlier for his long video. No, the comments, they said, no, we like it. We like it. 27 million minutes, say 27 million minutes, 27 minutes, a drop in the ocean. We will be back tomorrow with a revised video format. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Geo, thank you very much indeed. And we'll catch up with you very soon.